their mid bumps up to a 9.
What does a 9 even mean? Let's be real.
I mean, you could change this around. You
know
can make it like supports are at 70% of newbies. No, I just think that's a ridiculous amount.
We can't put this in metric. There's no way.
Anyway, it's a bit of fun. It's been put together by the Russian analysts. It gives us a chance to have a bit of an argument and get cap tilted a little bit, and also move to the draft because the draft is ready for us. So we're going to get into game 1 of EG versus Newbee very shortly, and the draft is underway. There we go. Proof in the pudding. 4 out. Doom first pick.
Proof in the pudding.
Shiva, did they ban out the disruptive heroes? Or am I seeing something else here?
They did, kind of. Well, one disruptive hero, and I mean, you ban out the Bulba Darkseer. That's a staple hero that you don't want to see.
Yeah, but now Bulba's got his...
No, he's got a Beastmaster.
He's got his pub spamming hero, Beastmaster, so...
It's pick your poison, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the Fear Bounty Hunter is insanely scary.
I think EG are pretty happy with the way this went down. Pretty clearly from the way they just like insta-picked up their 1-2.
Insta-picked.
Insta-picked.
I mean, it's a hero that Newbee has tons of success with, the Doom.
Yeah, so it's probably expected, and... Yep.
It doesn't really reveal anything in their draft either. They can adjust a bit. We'll go with IO. I'd say Beastmaster Puck are decent against IO, though. So I don't think I'm too unhappy if I'm EG right now. But it will be a lot harder to kill people.
Puck certainly has the, I think, opportunity to go and just destroy the Whisk combo, but at the same time has to, like, Zamail's individual play is going to have to really be good to propose an EG win, because he's facing against Doom.
I mean, all I used to do is press phase shift once in a while, right?
Yeah.
Maybe buy Yules, Octarine. Can't die then.
So the last time that Newbee went with Doom IO, they followed with Lion, Viper, and Spectre.
And Spec with... Okay. I really like Chuan's line, it's amazing. Plans ahead for so much, he makes a lot of space. Pretty fast blink daggers. Quite good against...
that was a 48-minute game against No Diggity as well on day 1, so not necessarily the most efficient, but it still worked.
Yeah.
The second game was actually an IO game as well, but it didn't involve a Doom.
Are you gonna ban out any of the specific IO combinations if you're EG here? I mean, they removed the Alchemist now. We've seen it paired up with the Gyrocopter before.
Yeah.
For Newbee.
I feel like the Chinese teams generally don't do like an all-in IO strat. Like, they'll pick a hero that it combos with, but it's not like IO is going to be tied to the hip with that character the whole game. And it's a really nice thing to do. Like, they can put it with Doom occasionally. It gives you more gank options, basically, across the map.
The new Viper.
The hard carry Viper. Let's be real, he's getting farm.
Yeah.
No matter what.
So that was one of the combinations of 3 that they've used already, which was the IO Doom Viper. So not a surprise perhaps to see that come.
Yeah, especially since the earlier performance by Newbee. See, Juggernaut.
They have left the line open for them now if they want it again.
Reserve time.
Another hero that like Doom offlane is particularly afraid of.
Gyrocopter.
Slark's a little annoying.
Slard or Slark.
Yeah. Slark's annoying because you just like, you have to go Shadowblade Doom at that point, but...
Now, when EG played this morning against Virtus Pro, the first game that they won very fast, they opened with the Beastmaster Puck, followed with Juggernaut, which is now banned, also with Bane and Elder Titan.
Yeah,
Sort of like
I'm
Elder
hyped
Bane.
for the Elder Titan pick.
Yeah?
I
Is this
bet
a good game for that?
I think EG are going to go for it in this series, yes.
It's definitely solid. You can set up the sleep on IO, for example, which means he's not going to be healing himself, which isn't going to heal the person he's tethered to. Gives you a ton of damage as well. You can ulti into the Puck ult, for example. A little bit of combo there.
Oh yeah, the Lifestealer combo with Puck. That makes sense.
5 seconds.
It's up Doom pretty quickly. Isn't afraid of relocate combos. That's what both those heroes have in common, right? This is magic immunity at will. Makes them just really annoying carries to gank. It's like kind of low percentage that you're going to be able to pull that off.
True. Especially if you don't have lots of physical damage. It's tough.
Yeah. They're heroes that can naturally push the lane solo without backup from their supports. So if EG are going to play much more of an aggressive game, You want to be able to free up your supports as best as possible, and yep, there it is, Elder Titan versus the Wisp.
I'd like to see him go maybe Elder Titan Venge, because they're already getting a lot of minus armor magic, minus magic resist, and the Venge will amp really well with Beastmaster. Plus you can swap out a Dream Coil. Only downside there is that they're kind of all in on their carry. I mean, they have a lot of nukes out of Puck, and Elder Titan's going to amp everything that everybody else does, but it would kind of put all their eggs in their carry basket, so maybe they need a... They can't do Elder Titan 5, really. I don't think that really works.
No, I don't think so.
Maybe they're already set up for that. They're kind of committed to the soul carry.
Looking towards the side of Newbee, how do you deal with an Elder Titan?
Buy armor items, buy magic resistance items. Don't buy stats.
Newbee dealt with
Don't
it
buy
in
stats.
the second game against Secret earlier on, didn't they?
Mhm.
There was that long game as well, which could have easily gone either way, but that game they had a line and an IO as well, so there's the
Oh.
line.
Surprising picks from Newbee.
We haven't seen that combination of supports before.
No, never.
You guys are terrible at sarcasm.
Just so good at killing Puck. Just the fact that you can instantly hex him and Earth Spike afterwards, it just counters so many of the things that Puck has for advantages in the early game. And they can burst a lot of heroes too, so if they catch like Elder Titan. That was a little, I kind of felt like they might do Sven here. He's one of the best solo carries, since he just does so much damage.
Yeah, and in some ways because of the fact that it's the fact that they have like Puck, Beastmaster. It's not their late game isn't the greatest, and I think they needed to be able to secure high ground and just being able to end the game. Because there's so much that Newbee can still pick up, right? That will give them superior late game.
Yeah.
So if they just get themselves like pretty good team fight and then just slightly superior late game, then they have this really big advantage if EG don't have pushing arrows. And I was thinking like maybe they would pick up Lycan, Lycan Beastmaster. We saw from Liquid how strong that was in the earlier series. But Sven is obviously a great pushing hero as well.
And he can kill a lot of
I mean,
these
Newbee have already shown us that they've got quite a wide array as well.
Mhm.
They've used a wide array of heroes even in the last 2 days. So
It comes online fast.
there's the Spectre. So that's 4 out of 4 now that they played earlier in the same lineup.
Or Paul, tell me
on that
who's the
occasion
last
they
hero?
used the Viper as well, which they can't use this time.
Ooh.
So that's the only one they're going to try and find a space for.
The
Yeah,
Moo
'cause
hero.
Viper's like a space creator in many ways. It's such an early to mid game kind of
Yeah.
hero that it creates time for the Spectre to be able to come online, because even if an enemy team has sort of a run at you lineup, they don't want to be running into a Viper, right? That just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
I
So
also
you're
like
going to have to
this.
find something else similar.
Razor, I guess, is the
Yeah, Razor could be
definitely
another
not
one.
similar.
They've used Rubik as well, which would be really,
Rubik mid.
not really this particular draft, but they have used the Rubik as well.
What do you think about an Invoker for Moo?
It could work. They don't have tons of setup for Sunstrike, so I'm a little iffy. They could go Quaswex decently, maybe.
I think you need. I think you need to be more active with Spectre, right? Like you have to be like. I don't think Invoker is going to be active enough to set the tempo of the game for you to be able to get Spectre ultimates out. And that's really the way the Spectre gets ahead, right? Is being able to be a part of these kills. So you need like a really active tempo controller. Batrider was actually really good. I was thinking, like, you go back to the Queen of
they've already
Pain.
played as well, and it's worked effectively for them, and they've just had it banned. So
Yeah, I mean that was just like a gap in my head, right? That I couldn't identify like the Batrider. I was thinking Queen of Pain, but Queen of Pain's not really like much of a hero that we've seen so far. But it's that kind of hero, It just I can't think of what Razor wouldn't be bad.
It'd be alright, but Razor is
But I
more of
think-
like a defensive, force them to go on you
exactly.
so that you can tank and initiate in that way. And they do kind of need a tanky hero, but with Doom offlane, it'll probably be good enough. But they need something that can force the engagements. I mean, Lion can do it in the early game with smoke ganks and stuff like that, but they definitely will have problems setting those up and forcing fights. And it's going to be tough as well with Puck being kind of hard to kill. Elder Titan Spear can scout, Beastmaster Hawk. Getting those first initiations might be a little tough for Newbee this game.
For this is not going to be a fun game for PPD. right? Because you have no good supports left that deal with Spectre, right? It's just a hard fight position, just purely as that, right?
Shadow Demon
Crystal Maiden.
is ready to go. Shadow Demon's so
You
good
can now
against Spectre.
Crystal Maiden.
You can frostbite the illusion.
Yeah, that's not gonna work.
So when
There is the
Inspector
Invoker.
jumps in
They do
and
do
pops the
Invoker.
Manta,
Yeah, okay,
what
then
do
you
you do as
die.
Crystal Maiden?
Then you die. Fair enough.
You die a lot.
Also,
you die
Invoker
many,
pit,
many times.
So we still got to see the move Invoker. It was always a treat.
So I guess he can just do Exhort. I guess push lanes, transition into farming build.
I personally
Probably
think that
safer.
he has to go up. Like they've got to set up Lion and Doom rotations to allow Moo to get the early momentum for him to start going as ham as possible.
What about a Witch Doctor? Sorry for the interruption.
No, it's fine. Doctors. It gives you
Is it too
sustain,
greedy?
which is something
I
they
think it's
don't
good.
have yet.
I mean,
like it.
they've got Forge Spirits and stuff, so it bounces pretty decently. It amplifies, it gives them really good damage as well, because they've already got minus armor from Elder Titan. Like, Elder Titan's actually very good against Spectre on paper, because Spec builds so many. And Shiva actually called everything.
Shiva.
Oh my god.
Shiva.
Doesn't change the fact that PPD is not gonna have it.
Called the Invoker.
He's like, oh god, I'm playing Crystal Maiden.
You're right.
Okay.
I'm
Cool.
just eaten alive.
Called the Invoker, got shut down. Was
Correct.
correct. Called the Crystal Maiden, got shut down. Was correct. What do you say, boys?
You have to watch the game first and see whether or not the analysis was correct about whether or not those heroes. I mean, if PPD, if Invoker isn't fast enough to be able to set the tempo of the game and EG take control, and maybe PPD does die a lot, it doesn't change the fact that those heroes were picked, but it doesn't necessarily mean that,
That they were the
those
best
things
ones.
aren't going to
Yeah,
happen.
yeah.
All right, thank you very much, all three of you. We are headed over to our commentary team now, led by the one and only Toby One. Take it away, sir.
Shut up, Blitz.
Thank you very much, Red. Shush, Cap. It is time to get ourselves into the game. It's Newbee on the undefeated run. Blitz, on a scale of 1 to Shiva, how confident do you feel in EG's draft?
Is Shiva the max, I guess?
Well, I don't know. That's the beauty of the scale.
Okay. Pretty confident. Did Cap just tell me to shut up when Shiva just proved him wrong twice in a row?
I don't think he told you to shut up. I think he actually said shout out.
Oh, no, you just...
He may have actually been offensive, but let's go with the good guy kind of perspective of Cap.
What is Shiva some kind of god? I saw
You were expecting the CM from PPD?
I didn't expect CM. I expected the Invoker, actually, because they run that combo a lot, but...
No.
CM
Well,
was a
the Newbee
surprise.
draft actually seems really like standard. The only thing I was expecting from them was a Gyrocopter instead of the Spectre. Because that's at least someone that will couple more with the Ire.
I think Vector, though, in a game like this, makes it hard for heroes like Beastmaster Puck to get around the map. And more importantly, it's kind of a hero that Hao feels comfortable on. I think the one downside of this hero for Newbee is, in recent performances, I haven't seen Hao be too impressive. In fact, the two games that stand out to me are the ones that he played yesterday, where he was feeding while his team was owning, and the other one was that C9 game, which I don't think I'll ever forget, where Vici had to play against C9 and Fly was trying like his hardest to carry Hao across his back with him. He's like, "Let me win this game for you, damn it!" But still a good pick in this game.
It seems rather easy in this game for him to keep finding kills, however. Like, if he gets Diffusal and Manta, all he's got to do is Haunt, and he kills PPD. They should just be a reality and just take out the
Yeah,
Crystal
but
Maiden.
at the same time, you give your team a lot of different options. The CM multi is above average right now, and you can get a lot more active on the map, especially if you go Tranquil Boots. With the self-regen that you have, you almost never have to leave the map, which I think against a team like Newbee is ideal. Now that you think about it, and what you think about is good in a game like this is you have to be able to just gear up and fight. The one thing Shiva misrepresented me on was she said I thought EG was a better version of OG, which I don't, because they're both unique teams there, but I think EG is one of the more flexible teams for sure. That part I did mention, and I think it's going to help them in this kind of matchup.
Well, let's have a look through our lane. So it looks like we get the standard Puck versus Invoker lane on the map. Down the bottom, it's going to be Hao as well as Kaka combining together with the Spectre and the Io. Chon doing his Lion, had an amazing game on that earlier today. And Fear is playing the babysitting Elder Titan, combining up with Bulbous. So the same combination that EG was also running earlier today.
Yeah.
So everything seems very, very familiar. And the last one is just KP's Doombringer for the offlane up against AUI on call with PBD support.
This bottom lane is very hard for Newbee to fight against in the early levels, especially when Lion's level 1. It's not a very good hero early on, so it's going to be up to I'm gonna just kind of hold the line for now, Toby, because bottom, you're not gonna trade against the Boar plus the ET who's got boots ready, especially if you're Kaka who's playing the Wisp. Like, what can he really provide for you? I am a little bit surprised that they gave away the Wisp just because of how dangerous Newbee's Wisp has looked, but this is EG, remember. This is the team that almost always gives away Wisp, regardless of who they're playing against.
Yep.
If you remember at TI4 when they knocked out Alliance after the group phase, they gave Alliance their dreaded CK Wisp, dominated it.
I can't believe how out CS this Invoker is getting right now. He's managed to find a couple more hits in. Samel's currently 9-2 up against the 4-0 Invoker. We're almost, like, every time I look at him, he's cold snapping or he's trying to attack into the puck, burn off these consumables, which has managed to work. Samel doesn't have his money for the bottle, so he can't fully stay on that lane and be aggressive. But bottom lane, initiation, fear, he's in a world of hurt, and that's me first blood going the way of Hal. Bulba's also a little bit further up. Chuan doesn't have his stun available, so Bulba will get back to the T1 tower. But that's first blood for the safe lane of Newbee.
Yeah, getting that level 2 onto your line is what enables that to happen, and that's what we talked about. First level is going to be a little bit weaker, but once line picks up any form of levels, one of the strongest supports in the game, just with that duality, and having 2 different types of disables, and up at top, he's going to get gone on, but of course he's Doom, and this is going to be a lane he's going to be incredibly successful in, because I don't think he really respects this lane. He doesn't really think that the Sven going to be able to do too much.
Well, as long as he's got Scorched Earth, right, he shouldn't be too fearful, and can Crystal Maiden really trade up against him when he's got the Alpha Wolf inside the Doom?
It's not really even about trading up, it's more, once you get a few levels of the Arcane Aura, you could just trade spells, and that's going to be perfectly fine, just because Doom will run out of mana before you do. At bottom lane, though, gotta be a little bit more careful than they were at the onset. And so far, it looks like the laning phase is working out well for them. Big question mark right now is mid, just with how hard Sumil is dominating move.
Well, PPD wants to try and give him a hand. Bottom lane might be getting a little bit more aggressive, but that first smoke being used by PPD can't find an opening to actually reach Moo. And with the placement of the Observe Ward that's further up on the river, watching the top rune area, it's like PPD, yeah, he's actually going to walk directly at him to Nova, but Samel doesn't have level 6, they can't control Moo.
That's also a Quaswex Invoker. That is pretty unkillable anyways.
They also didn't bring detection.
Yeah, I don't think that kill is happening regardless of that, and I think that's why PPD just bailed on it. He said, okay, I'll try to make this maneuver to help out, but wasn't really going anywhere, so he immediately just shows in the lane, throws out the Nova just so that Sumel can get the range creep, and I think that's fine.
Hey, UI seems to be having one hell of a time up on top lane. It's the dream for him almost. Bottom lane, the stomp, initiation up. The stun, however, is going to create no space for Kaka, who actually tethered himself back in, trying to keep Sean up. He's bottling us as well. They've already managed to bring down Bulba, and yep, Fear is going to join him. Sean, he's got stun in 1 second time, so Fear, Sean actually keeping him just out of range of the stomp, allowing him to stay there, and they get the kill onto Hal. So that's 2 out of the 3 kills you managed to get on this safe lane spec.
He's got 1200 gold already. Buy up the urn if he wants. Could go for the phase boots. Oh, wait, he has a wisp. Oh no, he doesn't go urn, but he can buy up the phase boots. Start building components for his drums, and it's going to be early with how many kills he's just gotten. In terms of CS, AUI is still ahead of him, but net worth wise, they are neck and neck.
Do you still feel alright if you're EG? Primarily because like PPD's managed at level 4, he's still farming inside the jungle, so supports are at least keeping up.
No, you're not happy about this, especially because of how bottom's gone. You commit 2 heroes to this lane, you expect to at least bother or win this lane outright. But how doesn't really feel the impact of this lane whatsoever, which is why they're going to start to rotate PPD down. I think PPD might be a little bit concerned that there's a ward down here. They're going to scout out, try to see what's going on. This would not be a bad gank opportunity. Hao is pretty low, he doesn't have any regen. And I think with PPD moving down, if he moves down like this, and Hao doesn't run away, then I think he knows. But Hao makes the correct play right there.
It comes at the same time as Chuan starts the pull, so Hao knows he's going to be farming up underneath his own tier 1 tower. And what are they actually bringing in? So Kaka, quick bottle charges, and Hao's back to full.
Yeah.
And no bottle charges lost.
And he brings him his Ring of Aquila, which is an item that most Spectres don't go for, but I think in a game like this, it's perfectly okay, mainly because of the Fear's ability. The natural order at some point, you need some armor. I wonder if that means he skips drums, actually.
Well, what is your mid-game build anyway? Because if you're gonna skip drums, are you trying to get that early radiance up? Is that what Spectre's looking for?
I think it depends on region and it depends on how certain players play. Because I know some people feel that going for the Radiance is kind of like the GG point of Spectres, right? And we saw that advent of going for the Manta Diffusal, where that has a more natural power spike where you can continuously fight and you don't have to wait for that timing.
Yep.
It's a difference. If your team can hold the line, you go for the Radiance, then yes, you're in a really solid spot because Radiance scales incredibly well for Spectre. It solves almost all of our issues. Radiance, the mischance plus your dispersion, that's natural synergy right there. On top of the fact that you can flash farm. The downside of that build, of course, though, is you can't always fight. There's going to be that time period where your team is effectively fighting without a carry, because that run up to 3,800 cold is quite a lot.
So maybe that's when we have to start asking the question, like, can Moo actually help create this space? Because if you had someone like a Queen of Pain moving around, maybe then Spectre will feel a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah. I think that's why he went for this Quaswex Invoker, because I think they wanted a hero like Puck, actually, to set up for something like this. Like, Puck would tie all of Newbee's lined up together, but because they can't grab it, they get something that kind of similar in its role. Quaswex Invoker, you just set up with Tornado, then you can haunt it and take fights. Ice walls off, so your Invoker and your Spectre can continue to chase.
How could also have a lot of confidence over in Chuan. Like, Chuan, his play throughout this tournament so far has been absolutely stellar, and his early influence with the Finger of Death is maybe something to which EG have to give a little bit of respect to and then back out. I still cannot also believe, like, how much space KP's getting up on this top lane. Like, yes, the Sven is obviously looking great for farm, but he had a Doombringer who's pretty much been walking around fairly uncontested on the top. Because the supports like PPD's been moving towards bottom lane, ET's still being committed to the bot lane as well.
Yeah, you can't kill this hero anyways. It's a Doom with 3 levels of Scorched Earth. He's got a wand and Tranquil Boots, so he's got armor too. Not really lacking in anything, and like you said, he's, because of the support rotations, he's more or less at free farm, and that's the big difference right now, is that Bulba is not getting this amount of free farm.
EG just scanned on the bottom lane. It looks like they were looking for Newbee doing the pull, but the scan was off target. They don't really know where they can go. It almost looks like what does Fear even do? Like, I've been watching Fear sitting on this bottom lane for the last 2 minutes, almost looking like there's no purpose to him being there.
But where else does he go? You can't kill.
Yeah.
Talked about how hard it is to kill a Quaswex Invoker mid. Like in this mid lane right now, Sumail gonna be forced to jump out. Part of the problem is normally what happens in this mid matchup, or most mid matchups, whenever you play against a hero like Puck, is after 1 or 2 abilities, you chip him down, then you can do the full combo, you get a kill. But against a Quaswex Invoker, because of the high rate of regen, you just keep refreshing essentially. Chuan's gonna try to find the angle on Sumail here. This is gonna be a weird timing though. No nighttime.
Oh, and with the orb up, if Puck actually goes for, and he goes for the top rune. Chuan and KP read it perfectly. Al's gonna horn himself in. And then he actually horns back down to the bottom lane on top of Bulba, so it doesn't miss any time on the lane at all.
Yeah. That was so well done by Newbee right there. Chuan read that situation perfectly. He knows that Sumail's going to go for that rune play. Instead, they even grab both sets of runes. KP makes the rotation down. Doesn't even have to waste the Doom right there. He's already got 1,100 gold. Game is kind of already getting rough for EG.
It's the influence of Chuan. Like, before he did that too, he sentry warded up the Ancients. So EG, who were trying to stack it with the Beastmaster Boar at the time, they can't even stack for any kind of recovery. And it's around the same time too that EG would prioritize the Dominator creep to try and stack up. So this is now the second stack which they've failed over on the Dire side.
They're going to realize it as soon as this one hits. Yeah.
And PPD is going to de-ward it.
I think the cool thing about Chuan's play is if you just watch his movement, you don't really care about KD or anything like that. I think that's a silly metric, but if you just watch his movement and how many kills he sets up and where he is on the map positionally, so he's always in position. He's guessing ganks based on like actual fact. You know that Puck's gonna go for that top rune at the 8-minute mark, so it's easy to wait on top of that cliff. At nighttime, that gank would be 100%. He doesn't even have to do that, but he knows, oh, Sumail's gonna go for this, and why would you make that kind of play on a Puck during day? But he knows, he reads like the psychology of the players. Like he's gonna go for the kill.
And just beautiful Dota to watch. We had a wonderful spectacle of it with Newbee earlier today. And with it being 4-0, like the advantage is, like, we're 10 minutes in, they got about 1,500 in the gold and just shy of 3k for the experience. And it looks like they're going to try and push it even further. It's a Hand of Midas build coming in here from KP. They're going to try and amplify the Doombringer up a little bit more. Invoker, we don't see his next item yet. We obviously assume it's going to be Hand of Midas. But again, we're seeing Move running around with these infused raindrops, making it almost even more difficult for Sumail. Get kind of any burst damage against him and find a counter kill. Actually, can you even do that if you're EG? It almost looks like you gotta like wait on Bulba's rotation.
Yeah, you can't kill Moo without the roar. It's too hard. They don't have any hard, reliable stuns aside from him.
But Bulba's too busy farming up Necrobook.
He's a little bit more behind than he should be on the Beastmaster.
Here comes Chuan again. If he can get the Hex off with Finger of Death, this is a guaranteed kill on Sumail. The damage output is just ridiculous. Okay, phase shift, not going to be enough. The Scorcher from KP is there, trying to make a bit of a filter. Stormbot from AUI, they go on KP with the Roar as well. KP's going to go down before he gets the Doom off, but Hao comes in on the back lines. He's already taken out the poor little Crystal Maiden as Kaka tethers away, trying to keep his distance over at AUI. The stun from Chuan's going to create this. The Spirit, however, from Fear will cancel that retreating hero, but you've got so much work being done by Moo as well as Hao. They are all over EG. Fear will try and rump to the high ground, but with Spectral Dagger, a small slow, he'll try and TP out, but that damage output is just way too much from the spec. And that's be another kill going the way of Newbee. Not the greatest thing for Hao to get caught in the tree line. No, you can't help him. But still, good fight for Newbee.
Yeah, Hao's on his own right there, but that fight, it wasn't just a good fight, that was incredible. You dragged the safe laner out of his lane on the side of EG, who's doing by far the best in this game. You let the Spectre pick up so many different last hits there. The Invoker gets involved too. It's just, this is textbook Newbee. They're ready to fight at any given moment. You have to prepare for their 5-man because positionally, their supports are always in where they need to be.
Hao's getting so much stronger as well. He's going to have his Vanguard up. Like, how does EG even put damage into a spec at this point?
I think he just stays.
You leave with the casual bit?
Yeah, you get the casual bit booster, so a lot of EG's damage is just that initial burst, but if he can survive behind it. And I think the principle behind all of NewBee's strategies is survive long enough so that we can all get there. You see that in every single one of their engagements. That's why you have something like the Quaswex Invoker or the Puck, so you have the opportunity to come back into the fight, so you can continue the fight. It's this hyper-aggression mobility style led by Chuan that kind of just makes everything happen here. I know cores normally get the credit, but on Newbee, this guy is undoubtedly the leader.
That's the reason why we had like that 10 points up for the supports of Newbee. Nice tornado from Moo, actually keeps Bulba out of play. And with the Cold Snap, EMP Burn's going to take away a lot of his mana. He cannot roar, he can only summon Necreus, but Sumail with the Dream Call, Moo's in trouble, but support will arrive. It's how the front lines, Moo, he can't get away in time. It's actually PPD with the Nova finding the kill, but with the Doom over on Sumail, KP's going to get a very quick revenge here. There's no denial, even if it is going to be attempted, as Fear is also on the run from Chuan. His stun to Barbley's a little bit out of range, but as Fear cuts his corner, they let the Spectral Dagger go. There's your stun to start with, and Hao, they actually make sure he gets the last hit. There's 6 kills and 4 assists over on this Spectre at the moment.
His rotations with his ultimate have every single time been on point, and this is the kind of Hao that Newbee needs to be dominant. For me personally, I thought Hao was the player that was performing the worst, and that's no knock on him. It's just how well Newbee has been doing overall as a group, but with him playing this well, this team looks just on point right now, and I thought EG was going to cause them the most troubles in the mid and early game, but again, it's just this lightning fast 5-man rotations. They're completely prepared for it.
Here they go again. AUI thought he could attack down the tower, but a Moo TP in behind the tower. Now they go for the EMP burn. You get the stun off, but Hao and Moo, they're perfectly spaced. The combo is there. Fear buys the space, however. AUI on 29 HP. They got no other way to chase it. Chuan's making his way over. He's got Finger of Death available. They try and kill off Fear. The Raw now in from Bulba and Sumail. A 3-man coil. Can they do enough, however? Moo keeps Fear away from letting that stop go. But can they make the plays? You've got the buyback now coming out from the Lion, but Hao is still on the front lines looking to do the damage with the support of Kaka. He is going to get back underneath the tier 1 tower, so EG is away, even though it looked like Newbee had a lot better initiation than EG.
Very well done by EG. Again, this is the kind of play that you have to have. You have to be able to respond just as quickly in kind. They bring everyone down there. Whatever fights that you're prepared for, it has to be as 5. Really good setup for them, but at the same time, I guess the biggest concern for them right now is that Hao is on top of the net worth charts. He's already got the Radiance recipe. Just 1,800 gold away from his own relic, and at that point, the game is just going to change completely. EG did a really good job, though, of setting up for that fight around AUI. They still have some options in this game. They are going for the stacks. Sven notoriously does pretty well against the Spectre just because you can survive through a lot of that damage with the Warcry, help your teammates out, but They're gonna need
EG
another
know.
few fights like that.
They just can't move. They know someone's behind the channel. So Bulbuk missed Necrobook with Tornado EMP. Sean in from the rear. He just instantly fingers down on top of Samael. KP doesn't have his Doom thanks to the silence. With the ET split up Boulder, nope, he ain't gonna survive. Moves right on his tail and Fear goes to tree line. Kind of given away by his own spirit. But PPD! He almost got himself a double kill. Chuan got picked off, but now the Doom is over on AUI, so there's no presence to come out from this vent. PPD just wants to retreat, but with the cold snap there,
They can save
it's a
PPD
stop
here.
from Fear, but no, Spectral Dagger is right in his tail. It's going to take 2 hits from Hal, maybe 3 to Frostbite, actually locking Hal in, Tornado up in the air, Crystal Maiden dies from the fall. And EG losing a couple of extra heroes on the way out, Fear almost saving his captain.
Yeah, that was really well done by PPD right there. The exit for the Sven could have been a lot worse. They could have lost their Sven once again in a fight like that to the Spectre. But fortunately, PPD was there. And the scary thing about playing against Newbee, though, is even getting out 3 for 1 in a situation like that is somewhat okay. Pause is going to come down as Chuan calls lag.
And Hal is just getting so big. But it's just like, Sven didn't die, AUI keeps finding more and more farm, and he's not really being contested on the Ancient stacks. Ever since that first Sentry Ward, Newbee have had no presence over on the Dire Ancients. It might also be because EG is continuously fighting on the bot lane, so it's difficult to get away.
They are. They're just... These two teams are just running at each other, and this is what you need to do when you play against a team like Newbee, is that you naturally have to challenge their aggression, and don't let them just set up map control.
Well, that's
Especially when
what
they're playing
Secret did to
greedy.
get ahead in that game earlier
Yeah,
today.
you have to bring the fight to them. This is a team that, yeah, they're scary in team fights, but just play different styles as a result. And Hal might go down mid as the puck commits the Veil and the Coil, but misses on the Orb, unfortunately.
Hal's still insanely tanky. And Karka was just in the neighborhood anyway. So Dagger towards Samael. A little bit of pressure to add towards the tier 1 tower, but nothing much more. As Chuan tries to find himself some space up on top. That buyback kind of hurt him a little bit. He ended up expending about, I think, about 350 gold at the time. So he's a little bit short of having that Blink Dagger. And once that's up, Newbee actually hit a different power spike with their initiation of support.
Man, this KP, he already has Shadow Blade. It's going to make it so hard.
Going
for EG to
directly into
open up.
Silver Edge.
Yeah, this is going to be so difficult for EG to take the fight. They're going to have to invest a lot in these sentries. I don't know if a gem is a logical pickup here, as they simply just can't afford it. And the Necrobook 3 is going to be not at a reasonable time in a game like this.
Who is KP's primary target for both Silver Edge as well as Doom?
Silver Edge, obviously you'd like to hit the Sven. Doom depends. What you have to really assess as a Doom player is who's used what spells. If the puck hasn't used any abilities and is saving everything, of course you want to go for the puck. He's your hyper-mobile hero that dies really easily. But in a situation where Samael gets everything off, then maybe your priority shift. Ulva if he doesn't get his roar. Like, as a Doom player, you kind of have to leave these options open for yourself.
Mm-hmm. This Newbee movement is almost hilarious. Now they move over towards the Dire Rangers, but it's the one time that the Dire Rangers are not stacked, and when EG is also smoke ganking over towards the Radiant Ancient area. Put down 2 aggressive wards up on the hill as well as behind the tier 1 tower.
Yeah, both teams had the exact same idea.
The only difference is EG is able to take that tier 1 tower on the top lane thanks to AUI being on the lane. Where Newbee, potentially they can rotate in towards the tier 1 tower in the mid. But they've already lost the top lane, so EG are willing to just straight come back and defend against any kind of Newbee push.
Yeah. I guess the difference too is, yeah, you lose the tower, but at the same time, there is 600 gold away from having that Radiance, and of course he already had the Vid booster to slow it up. So this is going to be a nice timing. Of course, EG have this ward right here, which is going to allow them to play quite aggressively on him. And at bottom, AUI might just go down from this.
That's the aggressive ward from KP. First with the tether. Better help too much. He tries to keep done. So you're gonna have a 1-for-1 trade support for core, and PP their way forward. Tornado from Moo creates so much space. They just can't get to the front lines.
No, this right now the Invoker combination with Hal's jump, it's too hard to fight. And at bottom, it looks like for
They're
half a
relocating.
second.
They're going for PPD. How to the front lines? PPD. The Frostbite's gonna be there, but the spirits from Karka do the work, and with this kill. Okay, they're not going to force the issue any further. They still had their own problem, the fact that Fear was cleaning up the mid wave and took out the tier 1 tower there.
I think the biggest problem right now is that Spectre has Radiance and they're still dominating fights even without it. And the power jump in this hero is going to go through the roof. took that fight at bottom thinking Sven could get out a lot of that damage with that Echo Saber blink. NewBee didn't quite expect that. They didn't even get the stun off on him originally, which allowed him to make that first jump, but and NewBee just completely prepared for everything, and their heroes are way too tanky.
It's also like EG is trying to focus down Sean at the very start of the fight. Like they're giving respect to the support hero.
Hey, he's so much of their disables right now. If you look at their team, he's aside from the tornado.
Bulba. There's no Doom, but Karka's coming back in again, and they have the extra help from Moo.
He was even trying to cast the roar on whoever he could. Doesn't even bother popping the Necro books. They'd just be feeding them away.
That's the Shadow Blade initiation with Infernal Blade.
Yeah, he's been doing that. Instead of going for the Blink Dagger, it naturally makes him a more prevalent threat on the map just because he can cut through the wards. He knows where your sentries are. As a result, if you keep the supports on the enemy team really poor, like you see PPD right now, he's just buying sentries and wards essentially because of this Doom. And he's got to waste a lot of these sentries going for the counter wards too. So now he's in a lose-lose situation where you're going to start to see the impact of the CM start to lessen over time. And so if you're EG, that's a hero that you're going to start to rely steadily less and less on just because of Spectre. What are you going to do?
Yeah, jump over on Karka. Karka just tries to juke it out a little bit longer, and
no
wow.
way.
He relocates himself away to
That's
safety.
brutal.
They didn't stop him. And the Dream Call snap didn't kill him either, so Karka will come back full life.
They're all going to come to make absolute sure that nothing happens.
Wait.
EG going for the immediate Roshan, but
This is the
they're going to take this fight. They've got Haunt up.
time. You've got a blink over on Chuan. You finished a... Here comes Jahan, PPE, the first one to be isolated, but Bulba, he's completely out of mana. At least he got his abilities off at AUI, doomed up further down. This is a disaster of fight for EG. They've lost 2, they're gonna lose 3 as well. The EG split having minimal effect over on Newbee. Samal at least is able to blink himself away from Hao. And Newbee, a 3-0 fight, looking very, very clean. And they're looking for more. Samal's trying to come back in again. He won't have his blink available, and they catch out Fear with a stun from Chuan. Fear's going to get cold snapped up as well, so you'll never get a stomp. In fact, it's just not going to do anything anyway.
Going to get killed too.
Oh boy, that's a team wipe. That's 23-7. EG have just been worked, absolutely worked in this first 20 minutes.
NewBee are just so good. This has got to be so scary for the other teams to watch too. If you're just looking at this right now.
It's still crazy to think too that this is the team that had to actually go through a qualifier for a major. They are looking amazingly good.
Hey, who's gonna stop this streak at this point? This is just incredible teamwork right now, and it's the speed at which NewBee play is the thing that I want to keep highlighting above all else. Is they play with purpose. They always understand, okay, we're gonna go for this objective as a group. We're gonna send you two up here because you can TP in at the last second. We're gonna be as farm efficient as possible. Then their team fights comes to spell and item usage. Click buttons as well. What can you say about them?
KP's looking to go again. The Silver Edge just to go to work. The smoke happened from EG at AUI. The jump will happen. At least Amel gets a quick revenge, so you'll already lose the lion with the stomp. AUI, he's living, no he won't. Hao comes in, PVD will let the ulti go, but Hao is all over him. You're at least having a lot better fight than EG has ever had so far in this game, but the Tornado is going to kill Bulba on the fall, and Hao's still standing in the middle of it. Bulba picks up a double kill.
Hao accidentally killed the Necro minion, which enables Bulba to get the last hit on him.
Unfortunately for Bulba, I believe he actually died. He died first, so he doesn't even get any of the advantage from it, as in experience. But that's the best fight EG has had so far.
It's a pretty good one for them to take too. Mail immediately rips through them with that Veil. They still have some options here. The problem though is keep losing Sven every single time one of these fights happen, and the Spectre just continues to come in that way.
Chuan? That's aggressive. Is there a relocate coming? Ah, of course. You got a Spectre on the field. He just haunts himself over. Samael with the phase shift. He's going to blink himself down into the tree line. And then Hal with a Spectral Dagger tries to catch him. Chuan, he blinks right next to him. 1 second until stun. He didn't actually see him, so his stun was in the wrong direction. And Hal's still having a bit of a peek, but I think they'll realize that Samael is long gone.
It was very good though. They didn't lose anybody off of that haunt. It's going to be, in a game like this, you're going to be incredibly satisfied with something like that. It's take whatever you can at this point, Toby. When a game is 26-10, that's a moral victory right there. But still, you have to just look at the facts right now. NewBee is averaging more than a kill a minute. Hyper-aggressive style paying off for them.
But the money which did go into EG, like if we are going to look on the bright side, the fact that Bulba got so much means that Blink and Necro 3 initiation is becoming a lot more of a reality for EG. However, Blink initiation from Chuan is still pretty good, but not enough to kill off PPD. Surveil picked up. The Dream Coil is there, but the rest of EG aren't on top of it until now. The Blink hit, the summon how AUI really wants. He's going to get tombed up. PD lets the ulti go. Chuan is actually just How who loops himself over the hillside to find the kill. AUI needs more space. Chuan
could be their first great fight.
Down, but How up on the hillside and away. There's only a Crystal Maiden for both the Doom and the Lion with the stun. How and Kaka are locked here. There's still a relocate out for Kaka if he can get them free, but the stun from AUI, he focused on Kaka, the relocate happens and they're away. They're back to base and now Moo makes his play from behind. He goes for the cold snap. AUI, the tornado, it barely catches him, but it's enough to find the kill. And now it's Fear who's on the run as well. Moo will go on a Ghost Walk. The movement speed 467 versus 390. Fear just doesn't have enough speed at the moment. He's going to go for the stop, but Moo actually understands it's happening. He had no vision of that, but he backs up from the stomp. He doesn't take the kill and pursue any further, however. But 29-12. That's EG's best. Is this now EG's best fight? Are we going to keep doing this?
That was definitely EG's best fight. They picked up kill on the Doom. They almost killed the Spectre right there, so there's still ways for them back into this game. They led with a 4-man coil from Sumail. Fear's doing the best he can with the situation, but of course you're still playing an ET in a game where everything kills you.
Yeah.
That was really well. That was a cool sequence of events though by both players. That was one player outplaying another, then another player outplaying.
You almost want to go back and watch the small little duels. Like I want to see the PPD versus Chuan duel just like isolated.
Yeah. PPD is doing the best he can in a situation as a Crystal Maiden, but again, this hero is going to have limited impact in a game where your team is losing this hard. It's going to come down to pretty much whether or not the course can make it happen for EG. Games like this, it'll test you as a player. If you're a core player, because you can't rely on your support in a situation like this. They're 200 farmed. When you have a 5-position CM with 1900 net worth, that's not going to be a hero that can inherently win or lose you the game. So
yeah,
much sure this game is going to come down to what kind of initiations can Sumail have, can get their damage out on their Sven, things of that nature.
I still want to see if they can kill off How with a fully completed Heart as well as Radiance.
Oh,
How is a beast, and like this isn't a normal build. Like you don't normally just go for like full strength like this.
Yeah, he usually goes for the Manta right after, but I think he understands there's a lot of burst damage on the side of EG with that Veil, trying to avoid that.
Does this just mean now he just goes to nothing but tier 3 items? Like you go into something like a Monkey King bar, a Butterfly next?
I still think you go for the Manta style. Manta Spectre is one of the biggest upgrades in Dota. And the good news for EG is that they've slowed down a lot of the item progression at KP. At one point he had 16-minute Shadow Blade plus the Midas. Since that time period, only completing the Blink Dagger and the Silver Edge. And considering he has a Midas and Devour, it's a little bit later than he'd like. EG still have a lot of room for growth.
Newbee are trying to fight. A smoke maneuver, they draw the line to go over towards the Dire Agents. You still have Haunt available. So Newbee can be here as a 5-man maneuver. As Lion, the ward goes down, they see Sven, instant doom. So there's no ulti, there's no nothing. PPE tries to let it go, but he'll get dropped down. They catch out Fear. This is just perfect surgical attacking on EG. From the left, the right, and the middle, every single side of EG gets hit, and the rest of them just have to run. How do you even fight that?
At this point in the game, it's so difficult. They can always lead with a number of spells. They have the Invoker that they can open up with. How can just haunt in at his leisure. You see him farming top, all of a sudden he's right there. You're just using the Spectral ulti. They're utilizing their cooldowns really well, Toby. That's the main thing. They're just utilizing their cooldowns really well. Whenever Doom is up, take a fight. Whenever Haunt is up, take a fight. And
they always seem to be fighting with like pre-vision. Like that wall that was put down from Chuan. They got the perfect vision over on Sven, instant Doom. Then the Haunt comes in. PPD like was in the neighborhood, but he died so quickly as well.
Yeah, Sumail's invis. He's looking for something, but probably doesn't want to go on any of these heroes. And even if he goes on the IO, that's a pipe IO at 28 minutes. Not even the best target to go for.
Do you like the Orchid build following directly after Ags for Moo?
Yeah, it forces a lot of different things. Like you have to go for, you can't really take a fight before BKB on the side of AUI. Of course, Sumail already built the Yule Scepter, which I'm a fan of. But it does increase his...
Oh, Moo. He doesn't need the Sentry Ward, but it may not even matter. Yule Scepter from the ET actually is able to break off the Orchid. Meanwhile, Puck is able to find the kill over on Chuan.
This could be
Moo's
good
going to
for
get brought up.
EG.
And with the Necro Books right behind it, Moo... No! The relocate out! Moo barely surviving! Do they come back and help him? Wait, where's the 3-second TP play? No, he's coming back with Moo. No, Moo's going to TP. Good luck. Kaka.
Oh, they might have KP here too.
Also trying to help out. And now PPD's ultimate. Kaka can't just walk himself away from this. It's a double kill for Bulba. Huge fight for EG. They get, well, very little as a trade for it. That was straight, really.
Yeah, that's 2,000 gold going in their pockets. And again, it's like I said, they keep catching up KP, so his item build isn't really progressing, and EG are doing all the little things correctly to try to get back into this game. There's still a pretty big deficit, and at some point they're going to have to deal with the combined strength of the Aegis Invoker and the Spectre, but they are taking these fights really intelligently. Problem is whether or not the net worth lead is a little bit too much.
It's only about 16, 17k worth of net worth and about 22k worth of experience, and I think it's doable.
Yeah, they just need a few more engagements like that, honestly. They have ET, one of the best heroes that coming back into the game because of the natural order. So whenever anybody scales on the side of Newbee...
The Observe Ward revealed that even if Fear did have the counter ward, Fear's going to get jumped on. Chuan does not have the mana for a Finger of Death. Trying to drain a little bit more, and now the Spectral Haunt. PPD is the one who's isolated. The Sunstrike right on its mark. So Moo will find that kill. A quick reality over to Bulba, and they relocate forward, bringing in KP, dooming up the BKB up AUI. That's his 10-second BKB, and he may tie. Newbee haven't even taken a tier 2 tower yet, and they're underneath the tier 4s, killing off EG. So Mouse tries to make space. Now he's probably going to lose his life. A triple kill for How, an ultra kill for How, and GG. 30 minutes in, a tier 3 tower won't even fall. And EG will lose game 1 up against Newbee.
Newbee just planted a flag that said 25 plus. Like, so Toby, at some point you said, well, we shouldn't give them too much credit for their streak. Maybe they have to play outside the competition.
No, don't you go red eye on me.
What else do they have to? Honestly, who else do they have to beat? In what dominating fashion do they have to win in?
They have to beat MVP Phoenix.
Team that isn't there. Oh.
Well, maybe next time.